No, and it's like you just wish you could get your beauty biz like being full-time income.
I know. And thankfully, though, I feel like I am finally at a place where I can kind of be like, okay, I know I need to do something for the now. However, I'm not putting my Mary Kay dreams on hold. Like, I'm
No.
still working towards it. It's not like I'm letting go of that dream. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, because I think that was my issue of like, I get a soul sucking 9 to 5 desk job, then I have to give up all of my dreams and I'm going to be stuck there for the rest of my life. But like, that's not true.
it's not true. You know that.
Yeah.
And part of having a network marketing business on the side, it's like when you see the people who have done really well with it, it's because they have a zillion things going on
I know.
and
And
they
I feel
have
like,
other jobs.
yeah. And so I feel like, and you and I feel like are the same in that way of when I do have a lot going on, especially in
Right.
college and in high school,
Mhm.
I'm thriving. Like I'm
Yes.
so productive. I get stuff done. Things are just working so well. So I definitely, honestly, just need more on my schedule. Like I need something else to do.
I know. Girl, just have a baby. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Isn't that the story of our lives though?
It is.
The good things that are sustaining and actually a good foundation for our life is hard. It's hard work.
Oh, that's why no one I mean, that's why, yeah. I mean, it's if it was easy, everybody would have it.
Exactly.
And everybody would be successful. I mean, that's one of my biggest things with Mary Kay when people, are interested in starting or any network marketing business for that reason. And they say, well, only like 2% or like 0.3% actually make it. And it's like, yeah, because it's hard. And if you
Right.
were willing to do it, you could.
Yep.
But it's like, it's sacrifice. Like Matt and I were talking, like my new sacrifice is instead of Matt and Monica time, Monday through Thursday night, 7 to 9 is Mary Kay time.
Mm,
Especially with side hustles, there's that sacrifice you have to make
totally.
until you can get rid of the easy, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of where my thought process was too, as in like if I find some type of soul stucking job for now
Mhm.
while working my Mary Kay business to build it up to where I could be like, oh, I am making a more monthly paycheck with my Mary Kay business to get to the point where I could quit, the day job and be reliable on my Mary Kay business. It's just, it's just the journey to get there. And with like job searching right now, I just keep telling myself like, it's okay. Like I can do hard things. I can do hard things for any amount of time. Like I can do hard things.
Mhm. Anyway, I super duper want to talk about this political thing.
Okay. I okay, so like what had got me started on the thought process of this specifically was seeing this post.
Mhm.
So I saw a post on Facebook while I was just scrolling, and which just tells me, as per usual, I need to stop scrolling. One, it hit me, and I'll tell you why I think it hit me harder than it just would have seen every other political posts that we see every single day all the time.
Mhm.
So the post was just like an image, word, picture that we see words in pictures. Just simply said, you cannot be a Democrat, or like you cannot be like democratic or whatever the exact wordage was and serve God at the same time. And I just stared at it, and there's multiple thoughts that went in my head. And then I think why it hit me even harder was it was some of my own family members that had shared this, who call themselves Christians and who work in the church and who are in the church every single day. And so that was my thought process. I was immediately sad, and then I kind of got angry because of the specific people that I saw posting this. Only because my first thought was, Jesus tells us, I'm thinking it's in Matthew. I could look it up when Jesus is doing all of the different teachings and the storytellings and
I
the
think it's Matthew.
I think it's Matthew of where he says he's telling the story or the parable of how you cannot serve two masters.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot have this one master and be loyal and everything else, but you can't turn your back on him and serve another one. So I think in the Bible, or what we hear a lot, is like you cannot serve money and God at the same time, in whatever aspect that means. So that was literally the first thing I thought of, is that we cannot serve a political party, being Republican, Democratic, liberal, independent, whatever political party you want to label yourself as. You cannot serve that and God at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So they put that there just made me sad, because I was like, okay, us as who call ourselves Christians, whatever that means for you, like how can we, like anybody, put God on the same level as our political government? Like that should just not be a thing. Like,
But it is for so many people.
right.
I mean, that's part of the problem, I think, with our political system, is that people are choosing sides based on a false security. I know I said this before to you, but decisions, we all know, decisions are made emotionally.
Right.
And first of all, the political parties and politics in general is a worldly organization. And
Of this world.
it's all based on money,
Right.
which means it's all based on sales and
Yeah.
marketing. And they are
Yeah.
marketing to your emotions. And they are telling you, if you are a Christian, but you vote or, have, democratic beliefs, they're basically saying like, you're going to hell.
Right. I mean,
They're
that's
telling,
what it like reads as.
it does. But they're winning the people that don't have the desire to dig deeper and look at the facts. Because here's the thing, like, there's nothing wrong with being involved in our government and like wanting to make the decisions based on, monetary situations or healthcare, like whatever.
Yeah.
But when you bring religion, you have to understand, as a person of faith, if you are making a political decision based on your religion or based on your faith, you are being played.
Yeah.
You're being played.
Totally.
Satan is alive and well in
Yep.
the Democratic Party. He is alive and well in the Republican Party.
Yes. I
He's
think
not
alive and well in our government, period. In the
in
US right now, period.
the world.
Yes.
And again, like, I think it comes from the human condition of like wanting to like cling on to any bit of security they can get,
Yeah.
thinking it will secure them or just make them feel good or safe, because the world is such a crapshoot right now.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I'm just not into politics. Like, I can't get into it because I went to business school and I see it.
Mm.
Like, I see it. Like, I'm like, you're literally, the shows you're watching, the ads, like the Facebook posts that are getting you riled up, like all the things,
Yeah.
it's marketing. They're
Right.
wanting you to make a decision so that they get more money.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's why I don't get into it, because like my security lies in Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
period. And to be quite frank, he doesn't care who I vote for.
Right.
Who I vote for does not affect my salvation.
Nope.
And if people think it does, that's where we have a problem in the Christian world.
Yeah.
People thinking that their salvation has anything to do with anything besides the gospel.
Right.
Doesn't matter who you
Yep.
vote for in November.
No. I think that's where my thoughts went too, of putting God in our political world and putting God in a box and
Mm-hmm.
giving him definitions and saying, if you believe in God, you have to follow these instructions on how to obey and respond in our political world. And we're literally putting God in a box where God is all powerful. Like, we don't have the mental capability of imagining
No.
God's glory and power to put him in a box.
In a
Like,
political box at that.
I like a tiny little piece of box. Like, we can't do that. Like,
Mm-mm.
there's just too much goodness and wrath in that to be able to do that. So Crossroads did a series at the very beginning of this year. It was called Don't Panic 2020. And it was I know, right? Like, so ironic. I don't know the word. Like, but it was specifically about this election year.
I remember, yeah, I remember seeing that outside, yeah, out front.
The biggest takeaway that I have, like, that I learned from that series is the power of the word and. I'm not going to like try to copy Crossroads or mimic what they said because honestly, I don't remember everything word for word, but I'm just going to take what I have received and what I'm remembering from learning what all of those things are and what my wordage now is basically like what I'm going to try to do and what I think we should all try to do, foundation ourselves in the gospel,
Mm-hmm.
which is identity in Jesus, his life, his murder, crucifixion, dying for our sins, his death, his resurrection, and his ascension into heaven with God. Like putting our identity and our foundation in Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You have something, a really strong feeling about something politically. Personally, will share, I have very strong feelings about women's rights and women who are abused and used in sex trafficking and children who are abused, because that's a part of my past, my personal story. And so I have a passion for empowering women and seeing them heal through that. And so if that is something that's like, I don't know, something political, okay, so you're gonna vote and go do something about it. So whatever you're going to vote for, whoever you're going to vote for, whatever issue it is, whatever side it is, whatever it is you're voting on, yes, go vote. Like, you're human and you are a citizen, a person in the US, like go vote. And in your daily life, pray about it, talk to God about it, and go do something about it. Because if you're passionate and if you're going to get riled up and angry on social media and over the computer screen and over our phones, whatever, like that is your personal choice. But we need to go out into the world and start making a difference of how Jesus did,
Mm-hmm.
like, and doing something about it. It's the vote and. Like, what are you physically, literally doing about what you believe in or what you say you believe in?
And I don't think people know how to do that.
Yeah,
People don't know what to do.
right.
People don't know what to do. People believe that getting on Facebook and posting things like that is doing something. And that needs to be addressed too. Because that's not doing anything. The other thing to think about with voting is, sure, it's important. Yes. But your vote, it will make an impact for 4 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So, so, so we've wasted an entire year basically of being fully riled up about this November thing that's going to make a decision for 4 more years.
Yeah,
Most of us live to like 80-ish. Is that average? I don't know. I don't know.
we can say it.
And so it's like, grand scheme of things, sure. You might be really upset in November. You might be really elated in November, but
Yeah,
it's 4 more years.
right.
It's going to keep changing. There's never going to be, you're never going to feel secure in our government the way that it was run. And so
Yep.
to me, I don't understand why. I do understand. To me, I choose not to care or get riled up because it's 4 more years of this place on earth,
Yeah,
which as Christians, we have bigger fish to fry here, people.
yeah,
We have bigger fish to fry. And like when you're saying like vote and go do something, I hate to bring up tough subjects, but we're doing it. But for me, like that's where the abortion things comes up.
Mm,
Yes, you may be really like you may lean towards one side or the other because of how you feel about abortion.
right.
Get that. But in my opinion, voting either way doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. That's not the war we need to be fighting right now. The
Right.
war we need to be fighting is with these women,
Mm-hmm.
seeing them, showing up for them,
Right. Totally.
helping them
Yep.
like Jesus would.
Totally.
Jesus would not walk up to a woman who was pregnant and scared and say, "You got to carry it," and walk away.
No. Right.
He would sit down with her, listen to her story,
Yeah.
talk her through it,
Yeah.
heal her in whatever way she needs to be healed,
Right.
and produce the correct outcome.
Right.
And that's what I get you get riled up about women's rights, I get riled up about this. Like
Totally.
the legality of abortion is not the fight we need to be fighting.
Yeah. I
It's
agree. I totally
how did
agree.
right, like the war is how did she get here?
Yeah.
What went wrong to put her where she is? Because that's the problem.
Hmm.
And that's where we need to be fighting.
Yeah.
So yeah, vote and go do something.
Yeah.
Right.
How you said, you know, how Jesus would handle it. It's literally how he would handle it. And the thing that I think people are going to get caught up on is producing the correct outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we as humans are never going to know what the correct outcome is for somebody else,
Nope.
because that is up to like me and Jesus. Like
Amen.
only God and Jesus, who we have accepted into our hearts as our forever friend, knows the correct outcome for me specifically.
Correct. When we're deciding on the outcome for somebody else that might not be right for them,
Yeah.
and they know that it's coming from a Christian belief,
Right.
all that does is push them further away from Jesus.
Totally.
So, no. Do I think abortion should be legal at any? No, absolutely not. Do I think that's a fight worth fighting? Nope.
Mm,
I think the fight worth fighting is bringing more women to Christ
yeah.
because if they know him, it doesn't matter what happens to them, they'll know what to do.
Right.
Oh, you got me all sweaty. You got me riled up.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Got pit sweat going on. I'm all like, with the whole post you saw.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say about the post was, is that not Satan's number one job to cause division amongst Christians?
Yeah.
I
For
mean,
real though.
for real. I mean, the post in and of itself is designed to pin Christian against Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About just like the election year and how we've heard like this is going to be the most important election of your life. Guess what? We heard that last year.
We hear it
We
every
heard that the year before that.
mm-hmm.
And we heard that the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is truly not the most important election of our life because we hear that every single year.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing to think about along those lines, on a daily basis, for you in your current situation, how much are you affected by who the president is?
Yeah. That's honestly like things that I have thought about, and it's like hard.
You're not. There are a lot of people who are.
Right.
And they have every right to allow this, not allow it, but they have, I guess what I'm trying to say is monitor your energy levels. Because this is the sadness of it. Doesn't matter who's in that White House. Racism isn't going away.
Right.
It's not.
I know.
It doesn't matter who's in that White House. There are going to be poor people living on the streets. There's going to be rich people living on yachts. There's going to be racism. There's going to be people without health care. There's going to be raping. There's going to be abortion. And it doesn't matter who's in the White House. They will try to do something about it and they'll pass bills about it, but it doesn't change the evil in this world that is not affected by politics.
Yeah. And
Not.
I think that's where my human side has struggled, especially this year. I mean, hello, I am a white woman, surprise, um, who has privilege. And so I see the people who struggle and are affected by so many different things that are happening in our country and in our government. And so I think that's where, at least me personally, I see that as I want to use whatever platforms that I have, um, you know, to like help people who are poor, or give my time and my energy and volunteering, or donating money to whatever causes or services that are able, because God has put me in a place in my life where I do have more opportunities, more financial wealth, whatever you want to say, than a lot of other people in our world. And so what are we going to do? What can I do with that that's actually going to glorify God's kingdom and not this political world that we're in?
Correct. The answer is you can go out and be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. You can
Right.
vote along the way, sure, but you've got
Right.
more responsibilities than that.
Exactly. So I think what I've been studying recently, in the book that I'm reading,
I'm
that
reading it too.
did you start it?
Yes.
It's this book called Because He Loves Me, and it's by Elise M. Fitzpatrick. And this book is like, the Lord is doing something.
It
Like,
is.
specifically, this book is, I think, for people who are already Christians, who have a faith walk with God, who have been living their day-to-day life like, oh yes, I've accepted Jesus in my heart years ago, and we're living the good old Christian life. So this is for those people, aka myself, and go hard look at yourself, because it's like, yeah, you call yourself a Christian, but you've left Jesus behind.
Mhm.
And it is so true. Study now is just truly like what a life in our world today, in our everyday to day life, looks like if I'm truly putting my identity and my purpose in the gospel, which is in the life of Jesus Christ, and how that can affect and transform me for who I am. And obviously, the change that God wants to do in me will hopefully affect like my family life and who I communicate with and who I get to spend my time and my days with, and like what I do and what I fight for and what I stand for and what I believe in. This all boils down to that we cannot put our trust and our understanding and our faith in this world, in this universe, in this world, in this country, in this government, in a person, in a relationship, in a pet, we can't do it because it's not God. And we have to put our faith and our trust and our understanding in God. And if people want to call me ignorance is bliss, that's, if you want to call it that,
I
that's
don't think,
fine.
no, I
But
don't
I
think
don't think it is.
no, I don't think it's that at all. I think it's, again, like it comes down to energy. It comes down to where you put your energy. Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
incredible if all of the energy that this world is putting into the political war, if that was all redirected towards spiritual warfare?
Oh, I can't even imagine. Like,
I mean, because the funny thing is, like, in spiritual warfare, you talk about good and evil. That's what it comes down to. Good and evil.
right.
God, Satan. Like, that's it, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at politics, people in our human condition, it's all about good and evil. But there's
Yeah.
no, but there's two sides and they're not good and evil.
Right.
They're this guy or that guy. It's like this side does evil crap. That side does evil crap. This side does good stuff. That side does bad stuff. And so it's a war that's never going to be won.
Yeah.
War that doesn't make sense. And then
Yep.
the war that's, but can you imagine if all of that energy was put into true good versus evil?
Whew. It'd be way more like heaven on earth, literally, like fighting and I'm a person who believes in the spiritual warfare, that there is a spiritual war happening around us with angels and demons, but that's a whole other situation, hashtag sorry, to get into. And I'm also a person who believes in the power of prayer, along with action. And so if we were just outside as the one body of Christ, praying and worshiping, like it would be mountain shaking, like
Oh,
atmosphere breaking.
healing.
Like,
It would be healing.
yes, it would be so good.
It'd be so healing. And, I know you kind of like skirted over it. You were like, skirt, when you said angels and demons. Like, no, hold up. Let's talk about that crap. Because it's not what Hollywood makes it out to be.
Right.
Okay. Like, demons don't look like that.
No.
It's not scary movie crap. It's not Amityville horror stuff we're talking about here. We're
Yeah.
talking about demons like racism, rape,
Yes. Yep.
poverty.
Yep.
Those are demons.
Yeah. The simple thoughts that you think in your mind, that you're not good enough and that you're unworthy and that you don't make enough money and that you're ugly and that those are also demons. Like those are not truths.
Correct. Almost like Hollywood has produced this vision of what good and evil is to distract us from real good versus evil.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah.
Like, they've created what we think is evil because we've seen it in a bad movie
Yeah.
to distract us from the fact that the way you just reacted to the man who cut you off on the highway is a bit evil.
Totally. Oh my gosh.
Why did this always come back to driving for me?
They're good analogies, though. It works.
Well, so back to the book I was reading last night, the thing about respect and how the humanity in us like demands to be respected.
Yeah.
And we get so caught up in people respecting us and it gets us all fired up when we're disrespected. And the author is like, you don't deserve it.
Yeah. She
You're
literally
a
was like,
sinner.
you don't deserve the respect that you
Deserve
want.
respect. Stop asking for it. You don't deserve it. You are a fallen sinner who needs Jesus Christ. And I was like, whoa.
Is it her wordage?
She's so good.
So good.
But it's in the way I don't want it to sound like it's a shame. Like, it's not shameful in any way. She's just like,
No.
no. Like, you don't deserve it, which is why you have a savior. And when
Yeah.
you realize that you're saved and you have a savior and Jesus lives in you, then you stop caring about the respect.
Yeah.
It stops bothering you.
Right. And that kind of ties into what we've talked about in the past before of like with social media and stuff of how we get so involved when we get dislikes or bad, rude, mean comments like we talked about before. But it's also like one, not being emotionally affected by those, but also like how we were talking a little bit before of like not getting emotionally affected by the likes and the good comments and the, oh, they like me. But it's not about being affected by either one of them.
It's about knowing your true identity.
Yeah.
Which is why I sent you those song lyrics a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to leave a legacy. The only
I don't
legacy
care if they remember me.
yeah, that they remember me. Jesus is the only name or something like that.
Yeah.
And that made me really think about social media. And it's freed me to start being more myself on social media and posting pictures that I know won't get likes, but it doesn't matter. I don't care. Because the only thing I want people to take from my social media posts is God. It's not about me. I don't care if you think I look good today. Yeah, I did my eyebrows. So what? Like, I don't care what you think. Everything I do is to glorify him.
Yeah.
If we could all stop caring about our own legacies and started focusing on the one legacy that matters.
I know, right? God doing hard work on your heart is hard.
It's hard.
And so for me personally, I'll share that he's opened up like this new or this thing that has clearly been inside of me, but like hidden in some weird dark places that I was never really fully aware of. And I think it's just some type of, or it has been like selfishness
Hmm.
and pride, um, hidden by shame, and like really being able to pry that sucker open, and so that like we can scoop all of that out and be like, okay, like why is this here, like, and then for Jesus to fill the hole, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so it's been a process of truly looking myself in the mirror and reminding myself, and this is like, okay, this is gonna sound really weird because like we shouldn't be hard on ourselves, but we also have to be honest
Hmm.
with, I am a sinner.
Hmm.
I'm a sinner. I'm no better than anybody else.
Hmm.
No better. No better than people who murder. No better than people who shoplift. No better than the worst sin you can think of. I am on the same level and playing field with anyone. And like truly reminding myself of that, to not allow that pride to get in the way, or I'm more better or worthy of my spiritualness because of my own issues, of my selfishness and my humanness, but truly being able to look at myself and say, no, that's not okay. And to remind myself that I am also a sinner and we're all saved by Jesus. And then, like, you know, the hope part of it is that, like, Jesus literally became sin and defeated it so that we can like live with hope and be truly loved. um and that's where it boils down to, is like knowing exactly who we are, sinners and all, but knowing who we are chosen by, who we're loved by, what our purpose here on earth is. And it's in the gospel. It's literally just in the gospel.
Go. You have that book in front of you, right?
Yep.
Open up to page 37.
Okay.
Tell me if on that page, right in the middle, there's like a paragraph that's italicized or a quote or something like,
Have it marked with
read
my
it out
blue
loud.
pen.
Read it out loud.
Okay, it says, um, so this is like God talking to you. I have loved you so much that I sent my beloved Son to bring you to myself, that in believing this, you might have eternal relationship with me. I will be your God. You will be my child. Rest and rejoice in all my love has done to transform you.
I don't know why that affected me the way it did, because I've heard it 1,000 times in John 3:16. I don't know
Yeah,
why it took a couple of different words in there for me to be like, like,
right?
I sent my only son to bring you to me. I was
Yeah,
like that line in itself, to bring you to me.
yeah.
It was just like,
Hardness of, we live in a broken world and there's still really, really bad, crappy things happening in our world today, in our country today. God is actually a good God, because
mm,
it's so easy for us to, question God. And honestly, I think we should. God literally tells us, question and test me and I will answer you.
mhm,
And so I think it's okay that we get angry with God, but we have to take it to him and say,
yeah,
God, why?
what's
Like,
up? Yeah,
what? Why are you doing these things? Like, why is this happening in our world? Like, why are you allowing these things to happen? And so reading that is like the reminder that that God is actually good and that we have a good God, because he sacrificed his one and only. He didn't have two sons. He didn't have a son and a daughter. He had one son, and he sacrificed him for all of us as humanity, like his creation. If he didn't actually care about us, he wouldn't have done that. Like,
Right.
if he didn't actually care to save us and want to live with us and have a relationship with us and be an eternity with us, like, he wouldn't have done any of that. Like, he wouldn't have cared, but he does, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's the part that we have to remember.
So I have so many zillion thoughts right now. I'm trying to figure out which one's going to come out first. It makes me think of Martin. You know, Martin's my only kid.
Yeah.
And so I think when you become a parent, you look at the gospel story differently. You look at it from God's perspective, but you also look at it from Mary's perspective.
Yeah.
Also, her only son, well, no, he wasn't her only son. He was her son.
Yeah.
And she watched it all.
I know.
And she was there at the foot of the cross.
Yep.
And it's just like, motherhood really, really, really changes it for you. It also makes you think like, okay, so God sent Jesus as a human to save us. And now Jesus comes and lives in us. So doesn't that mean that he wants us to be like, he's using us to go find somebody else to bring to him?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, who am I supposed to bring to him? Like, he's living in me. Okay, so he wants me to go be, you know, his hands and feet. So who am I supposed to bring to him?
Yeah. Like, we're supposed to share the good news.
Share the good news. And it's posts like the one you saw on Facebook that scare us away from sharing the good news because,
Absolutely.
I thought I was a Christian, but because I have democratic thoughts, maybe I'm not good enough to go share the good news.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right?
the other day about, I've been much better with my social media scrolling. I only get on, I think at night. So at night I get on and I like post my stuff, and I'll also spend a couple times in there. Like I'll spend in the battlefield. I call it going in there now. I'll go in.
I love that. I'm going to use it.
I go in and I respond to things and like things and read things and blah, 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 blah. I've started to unfollow people that make me feel icky. And, but anyway, like before I go in, I've started to pray.
Ugh,
Like,
that's such a good thing, though.
and put the armor on,
Ugh, yeah.
knowing that you are walking straight into the battlefield.
Yep.
I mean, I think of Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, especially TikTok.
Oh, totally, with TikTok.
I think of those places. I mean, like if you close your eyes and think about a battlefield, like the spiritual warfare is heavy in social media because it's so easy. It's like so spiritual warfare is like the parasite of social media right now. Taking it and using it. And you just have to like know what you're going in to do.
Yeah, like you're going in on a mission.
And get out of there.
With your blinders on. You're on a mission. It's like when you go to the grocery store. You have to go in with a list, and you have to know exactly what you're getting and not worry about anything else. Get in and get out.
Get in and get out. Because then you see that brownie that looks enticing, and so you eat it, and then you're on the toilet all night. Same thing. You see that post, and the first line is, you know if you're a true Christian if, and then 10 minutes later, you're questioning your self-worth.
Yeah.
For the rest of the night.
Yep.
I'm telling you, put on that bulletproof vest before you walk into that one.
You're being smart. You're preparing yourself. You're arming yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I've noticed if I slip up and I get on randomly throughout the day, and even I just spend 5 minutes on, by the time I put my phone down, I'm so tired.
I totally know what you mean because more recently, like I think specifically with this week, as you know, Jenny like has gone on family vacay, so I have a lot of more free time. Like I'm like, what do I do with myself? But like when I'm on my phone, I literally can feel it like in my brain and in my head of like the ickiness and the heaviness and like just not feeling good and the literal need to put my phone down because I'm like, I feel sick.
Yeah.
Like we have to spend more time off of it because it's literally physically now affecting our health.
Physically, for sure. My eyes start burning. My eyes are being affected by it. My neck. I mean, everything is affected physically, mentally.
Like even our arms and our hands. Like I literally like this, like this is so embarrassing. My hands have started to physically hurt and my muscles are sore from the way that I hold my phone for a nonstop hour.
My pinky, because it like holds the bottom up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's not okay.
I've figured out why I get so tired after social media, and it's because when you're just walking through life organically without screens, you have a range of emotions that ebb and flow throughout the day. But when you're scrolling on a phone, you're going through these it's like the circle of emotion in Mary Kay, right? Like you go
Yeah.
like happy, sad, blah, blah, blah. But you go through it so fast on social media that it's actually draining, because like you'll scroll and you'll see a post of old people holding hands and kissing. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And then the very next post is about President Trump, and the very next post is about someone dying, and the very next post is about rainbows, and the very next post is about dance class, and the very next post about cutting my hair. I mean, it's just like, and you're doing it so fast. So you're
Like
laughing, and then you're crying,
seconds.
and then you're mad, and then you're happy, and then you're excited, and then you're confused. And it's just like, in 5 minutes, you can run the amount of emotions that you would in 5 hours without it.
Wow. Yeah. Like you're literally draining yourself,
Yes.
like emotionally and your energy. Like to go through emotions takes a lot of energy.
Especially I think for women, and especially for people like myself. I'm a very empathetic person. You know, some worlds would call me an empath. I feel everything more than most people.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So doing it at night during my work time, 7 to 9, I do it for enough time to get my posts up, to respond to my stuff, and then to connect with some people. And I just put that sucker down. I don't even get on TikTok very much because it's so exhausting, because it's so funny.
Oh, I know. I literally can and have spent hours on TikTok.
But and not all, like, just because an emotion is good doesn't mean it's not draining.
Right. Oh, no, totally.
I mean, think about like after your wedding day, you're so tired because you were so excited and happy all day.
Oh, yeah. It was exhausting.
And so like, I think people need to understand, it's like not only bad emotions are sucking your battery life, like so are the
Yeah.
good ones. And so when you're scrolling through TikTok cracking up, peeing your pants at somebody doing competition dance entrances,
I love that one.
but then you put it down and you're like, oh
It
man.
drains you.
And
Yeah.
then you like try to come back down to like life level,
Oh, yeah.
and you're either a zombie or you're irritable.
Yep. Yep. I think this is just like a side note with TikTok, because I had a friend text me and like, how are you having the time to make all these TikTok videos? Because I've been posting one every single day for like the past 9 days.
Wow.
And so I told her like what I did. I don't film my stuff once a day. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not that committed. I literally took one day out of the week and took an hour and a half to film all of the videos, edited them, put my little whatever hashtags on them, and just put them in my drafts so that I could go back. Okay, now I have one to post every single day. So then you just like click post and post and post. And people are like, I thought you were doing this today. I'm like, I am. They're like, but you just posted a TikTok. And I'm like, that's because I filmed it days ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so even with our social media posting, like how we've talked about with Instagram, our posts, like the photos, or the stories, like it doesn't have to be live. Like you don't have to post it and make your story exactly when that thing is happening. Like you can just save it on your camera feed and in your camera images and post them all at once at the end of the day.
Yep.
Like it's like the energy management, time management. Like you have to manage our social media stuff now too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I post all of my Instagram stories at night in one fell swoop.
Yeah, I think that's so smart.
Yeah. I mean, because if you didn't, I mean, I have become much more aware of my phone since this one. I don't like having my phone out in front of him. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I feel so icky about being on my phone in front of him. And I think it's because my phone makes me feel icky. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's this weird, like, I just don't want him to see me on my phone.
Yeah, and I'm not a parent, obviously, but I feel like my thought process would be very similar, as in like knowing our phones make us icky and drains us, and then allowing my future child to see me, and then they would be learning that same habit of just being on our phone all the time, and obviously saying, "Oh, I shouldn't be on my phone, blah 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 blah," and then they're still learning, oh, we can be on our phone all the time. Like, we don't want to pass that down to our children,
Mm-mm.
you know.
And it's so crazy how fast they get addicted to screens.
Oh yeah, just within simple kids that I've worked with and that I've spent time with, they're way better. Like 5 4-year-olds are way better with screens and iPads and iPhones than I am. Like, they just know it.
You know how it works. And this one has hissy fits when I don't let him watch TV.
Really.
Like we have to like divert outside.
Yep.
Like I have to like remove him from the room of the television.
Yep.
And he doesn't even watch that much. But these, again, like these screens are created to get your attention. They dig into your emotions. You
Yep.
know, I think okay, so in Mary Kay, we talk about three things that we coach on the most, which is time management, financial management, or money management, and emotional management. And I think emotional management is the best thing in the whole world for a woman because of everything we're talking about today. If you can control your emotions and not let other things or people play on them,
Yeah.
you're in full control.
Totally. Going back to like the screens and the TV time and our phones, it's addictive. Like, being in front of a screen is addictive. Like, we can sit there literally all day.
It's dopamine.
Yeah.
You get a hit every time you see a screen,
Right?
especially social media.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it's a dopamine hit. It's the same thing you get from drugs
Yep.
and cheese. Did you know that?
No.
Dairy has, I can't think of it. I'll have to look it up for you. Dairy has something in it that reacts the same way in your brain as drugs because dairy is created to grow little babies into big animals, humans, adults, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And so it's addictive. Milk is addictive for
That is
infants so that
crazy.
they grow to be healthy and strong.
Is that why
Humans,
we love like home cook
yep,
food?
this is full of butter.
Yep.
Huh? Especially cow milk. Think about this. Cow's milk is designed for baby calves to grow them into monstrous creatures.
Yeah.
And it does that to anything that drinks it.
Wow.
It's wild.
Like, have a specific talk on just health and food and all the things, because I know you are so
I,
knowledgeable in that.
I would go bonkers. I would go
Way that you do that. Like, I want to adopt some of those qualities.
the non-dairy thing.
Yeah, because it's just healthy.
It's healthy. And you know what? It makes you feel so much better. And I'm not perfect. I eat cheese on pizza sometimes.
Yeah.
And I eat his leftover quesadillas, like, and he eats cheese. We're not perfect here,
Yeah.
but I I get very grossed out by handing babies cow's milk bottles. I think it is just I don't know. You have a baby and you nurse and you lactate for a while, you
Yeah.
start looking at it and you're like, why don't humans drink human milk?
Right?
Why
That's
do
an
we drink
interesting thought
cow
too.
milk? I mean, you start asking questions when you're a mom that's just like, anyway, all right, dear. Well, I love you. Good chat.
I love you too. Thanks for chatting with me. I
Do it again
appreciate it.
next week. I love it. I love these chats.
Yeah.
Love you.
Okay, love you.
Bye.
Bye.